Jim, you got a minute? Hey, how you doing on those orders? The truck's gonna be here soon.
We're way behind. We're short 2 drivers. Look, is there anyone else around here who can operate one of these?
Yeah, I used to drive one at the airport. I'll be through here soon.
Well, if you could help out, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, just let me finish up this paperwork.
You want me to give you a quick rundown?
No, I think I can handle it.
Great. Jim? Thanks, buddy.
I don't want anyone driving a forklift that hasn't gone through the training course.
Well, we were short 2 drivers, and you were pushing me to get that order out today.
Yeah, and you nearly pushed one of our customers into an early grave. Look, if you have that problem again, come to me first.
But I didn't think I had any other choice at the time.
Well, it doesn't make a difference. Just come.
Forklifts are a vital part of many businesses. Today, when forklift accidents occur, the results can be very costly. Medical expenses, damages, loss of productivity, and maybe even loss of life. Dan made the decision to let Jim operate the forklift without knowing whether or not he was qualified to do so. OSHA standards provide that only trained, authorized personnel be allowed to operate powered industrial trucks. There's no such thing as a standard designed for forklifts. Before driving any forklift, read the manual first. Now, the top speed of most forklifts is only about 7 miles per hour. At that speed, most people assume not much can go wrong. Don't believe it. A forklift can be lethal at any speed, even when it isn't moving.
Jim, wait a minute. Hold on. Now, don't get in just yet, because we want to do things in order here. You know, lots of drivers do exactly what you did when they first start work. They just hop right on and they take off. Well, that's just asking for trouble. Now, before driving, you should do a pre-check. Check the condition of the wheels and the tires, the condition of the forks, the carriage, the uprights, and chains, hydraulic levels. Check horn, brakes, lights. Oh, and make sure that the load backrest extensions are operating properly. Oh, and also check under the truck for any leaks, okay? Get in and we'll go over the controls.
I think I know how they work.
Okay, well, you explain them to me.
This is the direction control. This is the horn. This is the ignition switch. This is the parking brake. This is the
Battery discharge indicator. And you never want to drive with a discharged battery. You could ruin the battery.
This is the hour meter. These are the hydraulic controls. This is up and down. This is for the tilt, forwards and backwards. This is the side shift. Down here we have the speed control and the brake.
What's the best way to stop?
I use the brake and the speed control.
Right. On this electric, the speed control will cut off the power to the drive motor and your truck will coast to a stop. The speed control on a combustion engine truck works exactly the same way as the accelerator on a car.
You know, I've seen some guys on electric trucks reverse the engine to stop.
Yeah, that's called plugging. But you don't want to do that on a combustion engine truck. That could damage the drivetrain and it could cause your truck to tip.
Well, what if I use the parking brake to stop?
Your truck could tip. Okay, now tell me, what safety feature is built into the hydraulic controls?
Well, it's not an on-off system. It's variable speed for more control.
Very good, but what about your personal safety? Say you're working in a manufacturing area.
Then I'd want to wear a helmet and safety goggles.
Right. Even if you've got that overhead protection, wear them. Okay, so what else do you need to know before you get going?
Where I'm going, what I'm carrying, and how much it weighs.
Yeah, but you also need to know your forklift's rated capacity.
Where do I find that out at?
Right here on the nameplate. Now, the rated capacity for this forklift is 4,000 pounds at a 24-inch load center. And there's other information you need to know. Weight, classification, and rating.
Just knowing the capacity of the truck may not be enough. The capacity is specified in terms of a weight at a specified load center. the distance from the front face of the forks or load face of an attachment to the center of gravity of the load. If the load center is too far forward, whether due to the length of the load or to non-uniform distribution of weight, then the stability of the truck will be affected and the weight must be reduced. If the load has a higher center of gravity, then the stability of the forks as well as the stability of the truck will be affected, and once again, the weight must be reduced. Paying attention to the shape and the handling of the load greatly reduces the risk of an accident. Stacking and banding loose objects before loading can save time and a possible accident. Avoid stacking loose loads above the load backrest to prevent any spilling. Some loads may require additional attachments or adjustments in order to maintain stability. Before getting underway, make sure to carry the load as far back on the forks as possible to prevent the load from falling forward. Check to make sure your rear turning area is clear before moving. Even if your truck is equipped with rear view mirrors, do not use them for going in reverse. Look in the direction you're traveling. Looking in the direction you're traveling can prevent one of the most common forklift accidents, that of driving backwards off of the loading dock.
Hold on. Lower your forks down to a height so you have just enough space to clear the ground or any obstacles. That way your truck will be as stable as possible. Okay. Now tilt the forks back. All right, but you should never load a load this high. In fact, you shouldn't carry any load that's higher than your load backrest. So just back it up and park it over there. Whoa, 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 Jim. Always look before you go. Now, don't let anyone come between your truck or any stationary object like a wall. That's just asking for trouble.
Most lift trucks are designed for lifting materials, not people. Unless a truck is specifically designed for use by an elevating operator, it should not be used to lift people. Unless, of course, there's no practical alternative. If that's the case and a forklift must be used, then a safety platform having a solid base, a handrail, a tow board, and a screen between the lift mechanism and the platform must be attached to the carriage. The driver should be at the controls at all times, and be sure that the lift works smoothly through the entire lift height before lifting anyone into the air. The parking brake should be applied, and before moving the forklift, make sure that the person is brought safely down to the ground. Before getting underway, be sure to find out the different weight capacities and the height and width clearances of the areas you'll be working in. Signs such as these let the driver know the different height and widths of location obstacles, such as lights, pipes, elevators, doors, and sprinklers. And if there aren't any warning signs posted, it's up to the driver to get that information ahead of time, the safe way, before finding out the hard way. And just knowing the different locations of obstacles won't be enough. You also need to know the clearance of the load that you're carrying. In addition to knowing weight capacities, you need to know the condition of the operating surfaces. Floors, ramps, elevators, dock boards, semis, and railroad cars all need to be checked regularly. The weight of a forklift alone is heavy enough, but the combined weight of a forklift and a full load can severely stress and even break through some weakened surfaces. Some elevators are not authorized for forklift use. Check the elevator rating before getting on. Once on, lower the forks, neutralize the controls, shut off the power, and apply the brake. When driving, avoid obstructions, loose objects, bumps, holes, and spillages of any kind. It's up to the driver to make sure that other people are not at risk, and he's responsible for his own safety as well. It's important to keep body parts inside the truck and away from the chains at all times. Hanging out is just an invitation to amputation. Stay underneath the overhead guard, gripping the steering mechanism at all times.
How's it going? You getting the hang of this?
Yeah, I think I got this down.
Oh, okay. Which would be easier to tip over, an empty truck or a loaded truck?
A loaded truck, it's top heavy.
Yeah, well, that would seem to make sense, but actually, an empty truck is rear-end heavy and will have a tendency to tip over on its side more easily than a loaded truck when the load's lowered for travel. See, a loaded truck will tip forward more easily than a truck that's empty. Which way would you jump if the truck should start to tip?
You jump away from the direction you're tipping.
Actually, no. You stay in the truck, grip the wheel, then lean forward away from the point of impact and brace your feet. If you try jumping, you could be struck or trapped by part of the truck, and then you could be seriously hurt or even killed.
I didn't know that.
No, not
Mel, you were supposed to have taken care of that order yesterday.
Where's the paperwork on it? I never saw it written up anywhere.
The paperwork is on my secretary's desk.
Yeah, buried under a stack of memos of copies.
Being distracted can have tragic results. Driving a forklift is no different than driving your car on the highway. The same rules of the road apply. Watch out for the other guy. Give pedestrians the right of way. Expect the unexpected. And by all means, drive defensively. When an injury occurs as a result of a forklift accident, it's usually a serious one. And more often than not, it's the forklift driver himself who's hurt. 7 miles an hour may not seem like speeding, yet some individuals may feel the need to test the performance of their machine against someone else's. Don't do it. Don't assume that pedestrians will notice you, even with the horn, lights, and alarms. When going in reverse, don't rely on rear view mirrors. Keep clear visibility at all times. Forklift safety is a combination of knowledge and common sense. When driving a forklift on a grade, be sure that special care and precautions be taken. The fork should be low, just off the floor, and tilted back. And always keep the load upgrade on grades of 10% or more.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you carry a load up or down on a grade?
Let's see. If you're going up, go forwards. Coming down, back down.
Okay, how about if you're empty?
Going up, go backwards. If you're coming down, go forwards.
That's right.
Yeah.
And never try and turn on a grade.
Right.
Okay.
Dock board should be right angled, have hand grips, side guards, and should have a high friction surface. The weight capacity of a dock board should be clearly marked. When loading and unloading from railroad cars, semi-trailers, make sure the dock board and the vehicle are secure. Railroad tracks should be crossed diagonally and not at right angles.
Mel! Mel! I got a fire here. Get the fire extinguisher.
This fire was probably caused by dust buildup inside the forklift. The driver kept the fire from getting out of control by acting quickly and knowing where the fire extinguisher was. It pays for you to know where your fire extinguishers are. And regular maintenance could have prevented this. Regular maintenance and cleaning are an integral part of forklift safety. The handling of fuel and batteries requires caution and the use of proper procedures. Make sure that the area is well ventilated and that only authorized personnel should perform these tasks. When refueling fuel-powered vehicles, be sure to turn the motor off. And be careful. The fuel vapors are heavier than air and they may settle on your clothing. And always use a vented fuel cap. When servicing battery-powered vehicles, always be sure to have neutralizing agents nearby just in case of a battery acid spillage. Now, some forklift batteries weigh as much as 5,000 pounds. If it's your responsibility to change the battery, be sure to use a stand or an overhead crane. And one more thing. When checking battery acid levels, always use a flashlight. A match may bring you a little more light than you actually need.
Just make sure your rear wheels are straight when you park. That way the next guy who uses this truck will be pulling out straight.
Yeah.
Okay, you're done for the day. What's the procedure?
Be sure the area is clear of people. Lower the forks to the floor. Push the uprights forward. Turn off the key, set the parking brake. Oh, and be sure and chock the downhill wheels if you're parking on an incline.
How about the transmission and the directional control?
On electric trucks or trucks with a power shift transmission, you want to leave it in neutral. On trucks with a manual transmission, you want to leave the transmission engaged.
Okay, not bad. Just one more thing. If you're driving a combustion engine truck, be sure to park it outside or remove the fuel tank and store it outside.
Right.
Much of forklift safety is common sense and observing the rules of the road. These rules may seem obvious, but they're critical to safety in the work environment. Proper training. A thorough knowledge of equipment, functions, and capabilities. Location control. Keeping the work environment as safe as possible. Traffic safety. The rules of the road apply in the warehouse as well. And common sense, for which there is no substitute.
Oh, Jim, can I borrow your forklift for a second? I got to take some stuff to the cafeteria.
No, you better let me do it.
I know how to drive one of these things. I just need it for a second.
Now, look, let me take care of it for you. I'll go dump this stuff and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
The forklift, if used properly, is an effective and efficient vehicle with many capabilities. Proper use and care must be taken in order to ensure its safe operation. Make sure your forklift is in good hands.